Jordan Peterson leaves Piers Morgan speechless as he exposes Kamala Harris's dirty secret. Yes, I did just call her Kamala Harris, and I will continue to do so despite the gripings of many people. By the way, she's pronounced her name in more than one way, so don't let anybody get mad at you or boss you around for pronouncing her way this way or that way or whatever. All right, it's on her. Guys, this is gonna be a lot of fun. I think you're gonna enjoy this clip, and we're gonna get right into it. But first, everybody, help me out and do me a big favor. Like our video, share it around, and if you're new, subscribe to Resist the Mainstream YouTube channel so we can keep bringing you guys this great content. And for those of you who have already subscribed, thank you so much for coming back. As always, everybody, I'm your host, Darian. Let's get into the clip.
Seriously, and that's part of why he's building this coalition. I think he made a dreadful mistake in the debate with Kamala Harris because, well, first of all, he didn't highlight the Biden laptop spectacle, which is like a bit of political maneuvering that outdoes any deviance that I've ever seen since the beginning of my political awareness, including everything that went around Richard Nixon, who was impeached for his much lesser sins. Trump has gathered these people around him, and he's ready to move forward. Now, he didn't make a case for that in the damn debate.
I thought he was
he didn't say, look,
I thought he had a bad debate,
ahead,
actually. I thought that she played him rather cleverly. She played to his narcissism, let's call it, I think, what it is a bit, about the crowd sizes, about all that kind of stuff. And rather than him laser-like focusing on her weakness, which is that after 4 years, the country clearly is not in a better place. That's why she couldn't answer that question. And skewering her on her actual paucity of policy knowledge. I mean, she doesn't seem to know what she would do if she ran the country. She sort of played into his hands of allowing himself to be goaded and getting into a bit of a street fight and then saying crazy stuff about cats and dogs and so on and so on. Conversely, if you were looking at her right now, how do you psychoanalyze Kamala Harris?
Okay.
Piers Morgan just doesn't get it. His comment about the cats, totally stupid and ridiculous, frankly. And I've seen many people who are on the right bring up similarly clueless points about how Trump shouldn't have talked about it because it makes him look crazy or stupid or whatever. Here's the thing. After Trump brought up this craziness that's going on in Haiti, this insanity of letting something like 20,000 Haitians into a town of 60,000 people, bonkers to think about. People are now talking about the issue and the media is obsessed with it. They cannot get over it. They're sitting there saying, Donald Trump's a liar, he's crazy, it's debunked, all this garbage. But guess what? People are talking about the issue now. They're talking about immigration. And it's not just illegal immigration. In the case of these Haitian migrants, many of them are legal immigrants. I think that's very important to acknowledge because illegal immigration is not the only problem our country faces. Legal immigration is a huge problem too, and Trump was bringing attention to that by making the media obsess over it. Much like Trump back in 2016, he is making them froth over the mouth about something he said, and they are playing right into it. So to Piers Morgan and all these other political commentators saying that it was a stupid or goofy thing to bring up, you just don't get it, and maybe you should just sit this one out. As far as what Peterson said, it's a great point about the Hunter Biden laptop. Another example in recent memory. Obamagate was far worse than Richard Nixon's Watergate, yet people just act like it's no big deal. And we still have people like Fareed Zakaria on CNN saying that Obama had a scandal-free administration. Right. You know who else is not without scandal? Joe Biden. And his economy is insanely scandalous. Guys, I am tired of this inflation, and that is why I have decided to invest in gold, and you should too. So check it out, guys. I've partnered with Goldco. You can go to rtmgold.com. You can click the link in the description or type in your web browser to learn more. You can roll over your IRA or 401k, penalty and tax free. Yes, you heard that right. Penalty and tax free. And you can even get a free gold kit to help you make this decision because we know it's a big one. So check it out, everybody. Go to rtmgold.com. You can click the link in the description or type in your web browser. Once again, that is rtmgold.com.
Okay, well, let's give the devil his due to begin with. One of the market things I have seen happening with the Democrats since this switch in leadership is their movement away from the radical left. And so I'd like to give them credit for that. I think, now, is it real? Well, maybe. Some of me doesn't care if it's real, even if it's performative, even if it's purely performative, it's long overdue and very welcome. And so you don't hear Kamala talking much about the climate crisis, which I'm perfectly happy about because I think that's an absolute load of anti-human rubbish in the main. And the more leftist types within the Democrat Party have been effectively sidelined, at least as this campaign has progressed. So, thumbs up on that regard. Having said that, on the principle that previous performance is the best indicator of future performance, Kamala's had her time in the White House. Now, you might say the vice presidency is a secondary role, but if you're the sort of person that would only allow the vice presidency to be a secondary role, then maybe you're not fit to be president. You don't have enough force of character. And we've already seen what a Biden administration looks like. And what I see the Biden administration look like, America is such an economic powerhouse that it's still trudging along, rampaging along like a bull in a china shop, like it always does. But foreign policy has been a complete bloody world-ending disaster under the Democrats. They haven't stood up to Iran, which is a pack of vipers without compare. And we have this terrible, brutal, and I think unnecessary war going on between Russia and Ukraine, which could spiral out of control at any moment and is highly likely to. And so that's on Harris and the Democrats, and that's a major issue. So, and then what we might say, well, what will we get under Kamala? And maybe it's the case that the move away from the radical left is real, although I'd need a lot more evidence before I would believe that. But the easiest thing to predict is another 4 years of the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you predict that? It's not like she's the only one calling the shots. And as you already pointed out, maybe we could have more confidence that she would be a transformative leader, pull the Democrats to the center. What would you say? Act in a stellar manner on the foreign policy front and put the economy in order. Well, we'd be a lot more convinced of that if she was 10 times more policy oriented than she appears to be.
Gonna have to partially disagree with Peterson over here. This idea that Kamala Harris is moving away from the radical left, I suppose she is in terms of her appearance, but there are many key issues where she really isn't. To give you an example, she quite literally supports abortion up until the day of birth and will even admit as much in media interviews. This is the kind of issue that Trump and the Republican campaign ought to hammer her on. I get it. Abortion is an unpopular issue for the Republican side. Many Americans love abortion and support it. That is a sad reality that we have to deal with. But most Americans do not believe in ending the life of an infant the day before it's born, and especially not after it's born. There's a word for that. We call it infanticide. Kamala Harris has voted for this very thing in the United States Congress. She has quite literally said, yes, we can end the baby's life after it's born. Look it up. It's in her record. Why would we not hammer her on that? That is a radical policy. It's extreme. Americans hate it. Even the Americans who support abortion hate having it that late. And that is a great thing to hammer on. And it's crazy that he doesn't. With that being said, yeah, crush her on her bad record. Peterson's absolutely correct on that. This border sucks. And let's not forget, Kamala Harris was the appointed border czar of the Biden administration. And despite the media trying to sit around and play dumb and pretend like that never happened and that right-wingers just made it up or something, no. The articles are there. It was archived. Axios talked about it. Many other left-wing outlets talked about it as well. The Biden admin very clearly and blatantly labeled her the border czar months and months back. There's no debating it.
Completely agree. Yeah.
I've never seen a candidacy focused so much on image in my life in any country.
No, I think she's basically bet the bank on three things. One, she's not Joe Biden, which is a clear win for her. She's not. Secondly, she wants to avoid any substantive policy talk and shift everything to how awful Trump is, because that's an easier way for her to win, as she displayed quite skillfully at the debate. And thirdly, she wants to divorce herself from any accountability for what has happened under the administration in which she served as vice president, which, if she can get away with it, will be a skillful bit of politics.
That wraps it up for today, folks. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. What do you think about Piers Morgan's points? Let us know in the comments. I'm really curious to hear what your guys' political analysis is on this whole thing. And as always, please be sure to let us know what you liked about the video, what kind of content you want to see in the future, and we'll see you guys again soon. Thank you so much for tuning in, and God bless.